The Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase was an absolute treat, so how about an encore? Well, Xbox gave it to you with the Xbox and Bethesda Extended Showcase. Here's everything essential you need to know.
Now, this was an Xbox showcase, so obviously the opportunity was not going to be missed to give us a few extra treats for Game Pass, including a brand new look at the frolicking delights of Slime Rancher 2 with a new trailer, and the announcement that it was coming to the service upon release in autumn of this very year. There was also the announcement trailer that Valheim is coming to PC Game Pass this autumn. This particularly brutal survival game sees you as a Viking alone in the wilds against the cruelest of nature. The environment is procedurally generated too, so it's next to impossible to get the lay of the land after death, as it'll be completely different. Successfully face the elements though, and you'll be able to build your own strongholds and longships, and eventually become the best Viking warrior ever known. Oh, and also, the game is coming to Xbox in early 2023, when it will go straight onto Xbox Game Pass. Another game that's going to be slicing and dicing its way onto Xbox Game Pass upon its release in 2023 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Yes! If you've ever watched the movies and fancied trying to escape Leatherface yourself, now's your chance with this multiplayer survival horror that feels every bit as scratchy as the celluloid the first movie was recorded onto. And we cannot wait to carve up the competition when it hits Game Pass on day one.
This was followed by an interview with Sarah Bond, the head of Xbox Creator Experience, who spoke about the opportunities for those who want to create games with Xbox. She explained that those interested in working with Idea Xbox could head over to github.com/Microsoft/GDK for the Microsoft Developers Toolkit, a free set of tools needed to build games for Xbox consoles. Then, once you've made the next masterpiece, you can log on to xbox.com/ID for more information on applying to the Idea Xbox program and self-publish. Who knows, maybe you could appear on Game Pass one day. Oh, and speaking of,
one really intriguing morsel of info that Sarah Bond kindly gave us was that demos are coming back, but in Game Pass style, in a project named Moorcroft. Talking about how much the team has missed playing demos at previous in-person events, she spoke about a new initiative coming to Game Pass in the future where game developers can release a part of their game, like a level or a chapter, on the service for you users to try out. It's a great all-rounder in my eyes. More games for the players and real-time feedback for the devs on how to make their game the very best it can possibly be. Besides, if you can get in on the ground floor of what turns out to be the greatest game of all time, you then get the bragging rights that your feedback is what helped make it great. We all win.
The Extended Showcase also brought us the news and more information about DLC and events coming to our favourite games, including a special limited event on upcoming newly free-to-play edition, Fall Guys. It's aptly named the Spartan Showdown, as some familiar-looking green Mjolnir armour seems to appear as a skin. This Halo-tastic beam bonanza hits Fall Guys on June 30th until July 4th, exclusively on Xbox consoles. We also got a further in-depth look at the planes, copters and gliders available in the 40th anniversary edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator, which will hit Game Pass as a free add-on in November of this year. But arguably the biggest, juiciest DLC on offer was the Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels expansion. Our very own Charley was joined by Mike Brown, the creative director of Playground Games, to chat about all the hot orange tracks appearing above Mexico. Firstly, he told us that this DLC takes place literally in the clouds up above in the Hot Wheels park. There's over 200 kilometers of new area to tear up here across 4 different unique biomes: the rocky, rugged Giants Canyon, the Ice Cauldron, which combines frosty climbs with frothing magma, the luscious Forest Falls with canopies and cliffs, and finally the Horizon Nexus, where there are a myriad of tracks awaiting you. We also heard of different track types too: slippy ice, sloshing water flume, magnetic gravity, and rough rumble, as well as 80 new track and stunt pieces in the Hot Wheels creation kit in the event lab, so you can mix and match them like the ultimate toy set and share your exhilarating creations with the community. Finally, this is Forza, so of course there are more new cars coming, including Hot Wheels favourites like Bad to the Blade and the Chevrolet Hot Wheels Copo Camaro. You can play through the whole experience by grabbing the DLC expansion when it's available on July 19th.
The very beauty of an extended showcase is that it allows some time for deep dives into what came before, and there were several new nuggets of information on everything that piqued our curiosity on Sunday's show. While we won't go into everything that every single person said here, there were several sneak peeks at new games like Pentiment and As Dusk Falls, the latter here demonstrating that you can play through this dramatic journey with your pals, up to 8 of them in fact, all deciding a character's next move. Also, the story is apparently inspired by both Fargo and Breaking Bad, so you just know it's gonna be pretty darn great. The team behind Grounded revealed one of the many new bosses, in this case a praying mantis, specially requested by the community, you absolute freaks. Naraka Blade Point's producer told us that a new campaign mode is also coming to Game Pass the same day it launches, with a new weapon in the form of the Twin Blades. When it launches on Xbox, it's just a matter of days. That is not all though. High on Life and Rick and Morty creator Justin Roiland and his team told us how they designed their creatures by melding Blade Runner and the Muppets together. Never thought I'd ever say that sentence. They also let us know that those Gatlians, the talking guns in question, can be collected in almost any order and have totally different abilities, so mixing it up on different planets can give you some rewards here. The folks behind Strategy Behemoth are a history untold. Just to remind you, these are the legendary folks behind Civ 5. They came and they revealed their insider program, which allows you to play a pre-alpha build this summer. Dennis Rees from Mojang even revealed how the team had subliminally hinted at Minecraft Legends years before it was made back at Minecon. All in all, it told us a lot more about the titles we're excited by and gave us a lot more reasons to be hyped by them.
But one interview had our hype levels pushed beyond what we ever thought, and that was the chat with Hines from Bethesda. He spoke about the freedom given to the player in Redfall in terms of how you can experiment with characters' abilities in co-op, and reminded us of the expertise in storytelling from its creator Arcane. The importance of the Elder Scrolls Online's and Fallout 76's communities were also discussed ahead of their respective High Isle and the Pit expansions. But most tantalizing of all was a small glimpse into the universe of Starfield. Pete told us that the mantra in working with Starfield was most freedom and least limitations, and that we, the players, decide what the game is about. Whether we want to follow the main story, join a faction for quests, or just shack up on an outpost and mine planets to your heart's content. He also said that Bethesda often talk about generating water cooler moments within their games, whether they're missions or events that players can discuss with one another on how their approaches differ. He mentions in this that stealing the ships of others is a possibility, which is an intriguing thought for any budding space pirates out there. Speaking of ships, Hines says that every single ship is customizable to the nth degree. And that doesn't just include cosmetically. You can balance what kind of ship you want it to be, whether you want it to be heavily shielded to avoid as much combat as possible, or put everything into weaponry. He notes too that much like in real life, spaceships are expensive, so you can either collect the resources needed for ships and build it yourself, or simply just buy it. So even how you get the parts to customize your ship with is a free choice.
Finally, we were shown behind the scenes of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 Heart of Chornobyl. The game is being developed by GSC World, a Ukrainian development team who were confronted by some of the most difficult and terrifying conditions imaginable. Some even had to be evacuated from their homes and their offices, others stayed to work, and some even joining the Ukrainian armed forces. Despite all of that though, they were able to show us the opening of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, and it looks like it's something very special indeed. The graphical fidelity and lighting looks astonishingly realistic and adds to a really quite tense and terrifying atmosphere, and we cannot wait for it to hit Game Pass next year to see the fruit of GSC's world's labour in extremely difficult circumstances.
So those were the big headline announcements from the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase Extended. Which new look or insight has got you the most hype? Let us know in the comments down below, and to make sure you're the first to know about all these new games, be sure to subscribe to Xbox On and ring that bell. Bye for now.